1. History of creation and role in the war. The Bell P-39 Airacobra was born as a result of attempts by engineers of the American company Bell Aircraft Corporation to solve one important problem of its time, the creation of a light, fast and well-armed fighter. The project was first presented to the public in the mid-1930s, and the first prototype took off in the spring of 1939. Even then, the car stood out from competitors with an unusual solution. The engine was located immediately behind the cockpit, and the main weapon, a large 37mm cannon, was mounted in the nose of the aircraft, passing through the propeller shaft. This original layout provided several advantages at once. Firstly, the free front part of the fuselage made it possible to place a heavy cannon there, which could penetrate the armor of most aircraft of that time. Secondly, the engine located behind the pilot's back served as additional protection from fire from the rear. The first tests showed that the new fighter was very promising, but the US Army Command decided that the Airacobra was not perfect enough for decisive air battles. Instead of mass purchases, the Americans preferred to focus on creating other models, leaving the P-39 for export. The first batch went to the Iraq, but the British were also disappointed with the features of the aircraft. The British believed that the low turbine performance and poor maneuverability at high altitude made it ineffective in aerial combat. The British refused to continue deliveries, and then the new owners found another way to use these machines, to send them to the Soviet Union, arriving in our country under the Lend-Lease program. American aircraft became an integral part of the Soviet fleet. Here, on the Eastern Front, technology has truly revealed its potential. The fact is that the battle was fought mainly at low altitude, and the engines of the Allied aircraft did not work well at high altitude. Due to the peculiarities of the climate and atmosphere, the P-39, on the contrary, felt great at the bottom, demonstrating excellent maneuverability and accuracy of fire. The Luftwaffe pilots underestimated this technique, believing that it was weaker than traditional American fighters like the P-40 Warhawk or P-51 Mustang. The Soviet pilots had to develop their own combat strategy on this aircraft. They learned how to apply specific techniques, such as sudden attacks from above and quick approaches to low altitudes. As a result, the Bell P-39 became the favorite choice of many prominent heroes of the Soviet Union, including Alexander Ivanovich Pokrishkin, 3-time hero of the Soviet Union. 2. Design and features. The design of the Bell P-39 Airacobra really deserves special attention. Developed by Bell engineers, this machine was named Cobra for a reason. Externally, the aircraft looked predatory and aggressive, as if a snake was ready to attack. One of the most original features of the P-39 was its unique layout. Usually in fighters of that time, the engine was in front of the pilot, but the Bell designers decided to move it behind the pilot. This solution turned out to be revolutionary, as it allowed the installation of a powerful cannon directly in the bow, giving it a significant advantage in combat. The power plant was based on the Allison V1710 liquid-cooled inline engine. The engine power ranged from 1,150 to 1,325 horsepower, which provided a maximum speed of about 600 km per hour at an optimal altitude. The power characteristics depended on the modification and configuration of a particular instance. Another feature that attracted the attention of the pilots was the location of the crew. The pilot was sitting in a spacious cockpit with a good view of the surrounding environment. The cockpit cannot be opened with side flaps, facilitating evacuation in emergency situations. The comfortable landing and well-thought-out dashboard made the pilots work comfortable, even on long flights. The vehicle was equipped with 7.62mm machine guns and to 12.7mm heavy machine guns, as well as a large 37mm automatic cannon. All guns were located in front, which guaranteed excellent fire concentration and ease of combat. One of the problems the pilots had was related to the stability of the aircraft. The center of gravity, shifted back, made it sensitive to sudden movements of the steering wheel, and many beginners faced difficulties mastering the device. Nevertheless, experienced pilots managed to use the instability of the aircraft to their advantage, performing daring acrobatic figures and deceiving enemies with unexpected maneuvers. 3. Technical specifications. The technical specifications of the Bell P-39 Airacobra are impressive even today. Let's look at them in more detail. The weight of the empty aircraft is about 3 tons. The gross weight reaches almost 4.5 tons. The wingspan is just over 10 meters. The fuselage is 9 meters long, and the car is 3 meters high. The total area of the wing is approximately 20 square meters. The heart of the aircraft was the Ellison V1710 engine mounted in the rear of the hull. This power plant produced about 1,200 horsepower, making it possible to accelerate to a maximum speed of 600 kilometers per hour. At an average altitude, the optimal use of the aircraft occurred at an altitude of up to 6,000 meters, where it showed the best dynamic characteristics. The time to climb to an altitude of 6,000 meters was 7 to 9 minutes, and the combat radius, depending on the number of outboard gas tanks, ranged from 700 to 800 kilometers. I would like to place a special emphasis on weapons. The vehicle was equipped with 3 types of weapons. The main striking force was the 37mm Oldsmobile for cannon located in the bow, complemented by 12.7mm Browning heavy machine guns and for 7.62mm conventional machine guns. Together, these weapons turned the P-39 into a real deadly instrument in the air. In addition to the main armament, the aircraft could carry small aerial bombs or air-to-air missiles, enhancing its destructive power. In addition, the engine cooling system located in the lower part of the fuselage was additionally protected by armored panels, increasing the survivability of the vehicle during combat. 4. Use in combat. The Bell P-39 Airacobra has firmly entered the annals of military history, thanks to the heroic actions of Soviet pilots. During the war, he proved himself to be a reliable and effective assistant in aerial battles and assault operations. Using low clouds and the terrain, our pilots found suitable places to strike at the enemy. The maneuverability of the P-39 made it possible to quickly enter and leave the affected area before the enemy had time to react. The practice of massive strikes by several units at the same time has become especially effective, allowing to disperse the forces of the Germans and cause chaos in the ranks of enemy troops. The best Soviet pilots, including Alexander Ivanovich Pokrishkin and Nikolai Dmitrievich Golaev, demonstrated their special skills. Each of them has scored dozens of confirmed victories on the Bell P-39, confirming its value as a combat weapon. The pilots widely used a special attack technique. It was called a half-barrel or coup d'etat. The essence of the method was to rapidly descend at a minimum altitude, enter a straight line and open fire on the selected target. Then the pilot lifted the nose of the aircraft and turned back towards the base, leaving the broken object astern. Another advantage of the Bell P-39 was its reliability. Even after receiving serious damage, the plane often remained intact and returned home. Many pilots told how they escaped in damaged cars, landing even in emergency situations. Using Airacobra has shown how important it is to choose the right equipment for a particular situation. Its advantages were revealed only in experienced hands, and the competent combination of the unique characteristics of the aircraft with the skillful actions of the crews turned the P-39 into a legend of that era. During the war, hundreds of P-39s flew thousands of missions, participated in hundreds of battles, and brought glory to those who flew them. It is difficult to overestimate their contribution to the overall victory, because it was on such machines that our heroes performed real miracles of bravery and skill.